Maths is More Than Numbers by Erin, Grace, Hannah and Maddie. This is Newton's 3 laws of motion. Newton's first law is the law of inertia, and it states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object that's moving keeps moving unless an external force is applied. When an object is moving, the external forces are the air, ground, and an obstacle. When a ball is travelling at 20 kilometers an hour, it wants to keep travelling at this speed, but the external forces slow it down, the air and then finally the tree. When it hits the tree, it then falls to the ground and transitions to a stable object, and will again not move until another external force is applied.
The cup is in a constant state of motion until acted upon by the unbalanced force of the wall. This causes the water to spill out.
Law 2 states the greater the mass of an object, the more force is required to accelerate that object. This large block of wood is difficult to accelerate, but they can move it a little bit. The next block of wood is huge and is way too heavy. The force of one human being is not enough to move it. The block on top is lighter and is easier to move with the same amount of force. This basically states that a smaller object needs less force to move and a larger one needs a lot more force. This super heavy block cannot be moved when all the force of one person is put into it. To apply this law, think of a 1,000 kilo block and a 250 kilo block. The larger block, block A, is 4 times heavier than block B. This means we would need 4 times as much force to move block A than block B. This can be shown in the equation F equals ma. For example, a human with a lower level of strength cannot push this wall, but a car can. We can also represent this through the strength of different people. The muscle man, the man at the bottom, can push the block, but the weak man can't. This is because the strong man can apply more force. This says that the higher the force, the better the ability to push something with a higher mass.
This first car has a lighter mass than the second car, which makes it easier to push when force is applied. How much it accelerates depends on its mass entirely.
Newton's third law is that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. When you bounce a tennis ball at a 5-kilometer force towards the ground, it will hit the floor, squish towards the ground, and accelerate at the same speed off the ground. This is an action-reaction pair. This shows the equal and opposite reaction. Another example would be a bike. You pedal and the action of this motion sends the wheels forward and the bike forward as well. This is another action-reaction pair. So to recap, Law 1, the law of inertia, says that things like to do what they're already doing. Law 2, force equals m times a. And Law 3, every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
The tyres and the pavement form an action and reaction pair with one another.